Greetings, friends. I'm AK,
And I'm Laura,
and we are the
the
Chainsaw
Chainsaw
Girls.
Girls. On today's episode, we are covering another episode of American Horror Story. We are on episode 4, which happens to be Halloween Part 1. Halloween Part 1 and 2 are my favorite episodes, I think, in the entire series of American Horror Story. I don't know. I always think back on those episodes. I think they're really good. It was written by James Wong, who also wrote and directed Final Destination 1 and 3. He also wrote a ton of episodes of The X Files and American Horror Stories.
You said James Wan?
Wong, yes.
Oh, different from Saw James Wan.
Yes, different.
Okay, okay. I heard Wan. I was
Yes.
like, wait, I did not see that.
Wong.
Okay.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Wong.
Halloween Part 1 and 2 are probably my favorite episodes in the Murder House season. Should we just jump into it, or is there anything else you want to get into before your face? You're like,
Let's
let's go.
go.
We're ready to rock. Okay, so we are in
Wait,
2000.
wait. Do you see what earrings I'm wearing right
Wait, hold on, because I forgot to put these in. They're sitting on my desk.
now? You guys, for those that are not watching on YouTube, I'm wearing blood diner earrings and AK's wearing trash earrings.
And the trash earring is wearing an earring.
Oh my god, I
Okay,
love that.
these are from Printy Vibes.
Ooh, we got them at the horror garage sale, Buffalo Horror Garage Sale.
Yes, I cannot wait to go back in. Is it October?
It's October, baby.
We're going to be there. Okay.
I know. It's
Anywho,
gonna be so
I think
fun.
I'm
Okay.
actually going to take these off for the episode only because mine jingle a lot for with her extra earring and they're going to be making noise in the mic.
Okay.
But
Should we
yes,
officially hop in?
now we're going to hop in. Okay. We are starting off in 2010. We see that it's Halloween and we're seeing the couple that lived there at one time in 2010, obviously, Chad and Patrick. So Chad is played by Zachary Quinto and Patrick is played by Teddy Sears. This is the gay couple that Marcy, the real estate agent, had been talking about. She had been alluding to something horrible happening to them for the past 3 episodes, okay? So now we're going to get the lore on Chad and Patrick. Chad is carving a pumpkin that I would have sworn was Bette Midler in Hocus Pocus, but he
Oh,
tells his boyfriend that it's Marie Antoinette.
yeah, Marie Antoinette, yes.
Patrick seems a little less interested in the holiday. He tells Chad he's going to the gym. Chad tells him to wear a condom. And I'm like, wait, what? This is escalating very quickly.
I mean, you can kind of right off the hop feel that there's tension between them. Like Chad seems very into the decorating, whereas Patrick just seems very not interested, not irritated, but just very much like I'm going to do my own thing.
Very dismissive. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Chad also wants some apples. He does not like the gala apples and he wants green ones instead. This is very important to him. And
Oh yes,
Patrick's
for the bobbing for apples station.
yeah,
Very
because they
important.
are decking this house out for Halloween. Like they're turning it into, I guess, kind of like a haunted house. Like they're inviting people inside. Did you ever have those houses trick or treating where they would like set up their backyard? You could actually walk through it? No?
No.
Oh, in the
Mm-mm.
90s, I remember this person set up their garage. So you walked through their backyard, and then inside the garage, they had someone sitting in an electric chair, and the bowl of candy was on their lap. So if you have to go grab it from the person, and then they would start convulsing.
Whoa, that's so cool. We didn't have that in our neighborhood. Just like
That's
people sitting on their porch acting like dummies and then jumping and scaring
right.
the shit out of me.
That's the cheaper version of that, I think.
Hmm.
Oh, the 90s. So Patrick is like, what are you talking about? And now Chad is accusing him of screwing his trainer. And Patrick is like, you know what? I am. And you know what else? He's a power bottom.
Like
This
that
episode starts
escalated
off,
so fast. Like it
yes,
just
it starts off so hot. I was like, oh my God. Chad reminds him that their policy is don't ask, don't tell. And this whole thing
which
is messy.
it's that's a very toxic sort of agreement, don't you think? I mean, hey, listen, I ain't judging, but it doesn't sound like they're both content with this agreement.
That exactly that part. They're not, if you're both agreeing to it, that's on you. I have no say in your situation. But one of them is clearly not into this as much as the other. There's a lot of resentment, right? And there was a point where I'm like, I can't tell if they're just fucking with each other. Like, you know how some people's vibe is they just kind of dig at each other? I don't like that vibe, but some people are like that where it's like, I don't know. I think that there's a lot of resentment in this relationship.
So we find out here that they bought the house intending to flip it. But unfortunately, the market sucks. And now they're kind of stuck with the murder house, which is similar to what happened with Vivian, right? So Chad, he says to Patrick, like, I want this place to look amazing for Halloween, for the Halloween party, so that maybe somebody at the party will see the place and be interested in buying it. So Chad isn't just excited to be decorating, he's doing it for a purpose. It felt very Virgo to me. And you kind of get the impression that they had a happy relationship at one point, but it has broken down quite a bit. When Patrick leaves, he does say something to him about that they wanted a baby at one point. It just seems like there's been a breakdown in their relationship, right?
Yeah, and
Uh,
that's also a theme with Murder House. It seems like the house wants a baby, maybe, or something like that.
Absolutely, my friend. Absolutely. So Patrick ends up leaving. Okay. And then Chad's alone and he's sitting at the table with his pumpkins and a glass of wine. And the rubber suit man shows up. Oh boy. And Chad, assuming that this is Patrick, starts apologizing to him and kind of takes ownership of his not so great behavior and the things that he said, right? We know that that is not Patrick.
Yeah, it's the same rubber man that we saw with, or rubber suit man. I don't remember what we were calling him in the last episode, but the same one we saw with Vivian.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I call him Rubber Man for most of my notes.
I think I did too.
So Chad kind of is talking to him, but the Rubber Man like kind of tilts his head, very Michael Myers-esque. And it's very clear that Chad thinks that this is the wrong person. Eventually, what ends up happening is Rubber Man's going to drown poor Chad in the Bobbing for Apples station in the barrel.
The station.
It's a station.
I guess it is, yeah. And he ends up snapping his neck.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy.
Now, Patrick walks in a cowboy outfit, okay?
It's so sad because he looks like so adorable. And he, like,
I know, and he wasn't really into it, but he's like, all right. It's almost like, okay, I'm going to do this for my man, you know? He walks in, they lock eyes, him and Rubber Man, and then cue creepy ass intro. Okay, now we're going to cut to...
Great opening for this episode.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're immediately hooked. It started off so hot, and then crazy shit is happening. So now we're going to cut to Marcy, the real estate agent, sitting with Vivian and Ben. It's the day before Halloween here, and Marcy is suggesting they hire a fluffer to make this place look more stylish and have better PR, because it has a really bad rap, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. They're going to like stage the house.
Yeah. I love here that Vivian's like, we have style, and Marcy's like, everyone thinks they have style, just like everyone thinks they're funny, and most are wrong. I was like, damn, you're right.
I mean, true especially when you're selling a house. It's true, especially like when you're selling a house, it helps to have an extra pair of eyes. I think with anything, really.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm completely aware. I have zero interior decorating sense. Like, I just don't have an eye for that kind of stuff. I see things.
No way.
Don't just be nice. No, I feel like my sister, she has an eye for that. Like, I don't know. I see things and I like them, but I also think it's because I love tacky. I love tacky. I love gaudy. And I know that it's not like in style, but I don't give a shit. Anyway.
Hey, there ain't nothing wrong with that. I think you have great style because it's you. And that is style.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So we end up finding out that the previous night, Ben was egged by the ghost twins from that first episode. It's not really important here. We're just seeing the ghosts pop up here and there. And then we're going to cut to a guy reading a story of Samhain to Addie. Mm-hmm. And it took me a minute to realize this guy is Constance's boy toy.
Right, yeah.
And I didn't catch his name, but it's not important to the story. So basically, they talk about how we dress up to scare away ghosts. In reality, Samhain was more so to blend in with the spirits, but here he's telling Addie they dress up to scare away the ghosts. Mm-hmm. He asks her what she wants to be for Halloween. She whispers it to him, and then she starts blushing, and they're both like giggling. It's really cute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's innocent.
And then Constance comes in, of course, kills the vibe, as she does. And she sends this guy to the store to pick up some ingredients for cookies and some cigs, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And then Constance is giving Addie shit about crushing on this guy.
Yeah.
She alludes to it happening before. She was pretending. She basically tells Addie, "Oh, you're pretending not to be able to read so that he will read to you," which is cute. I think it's funny.
I do too. I think it's funny as well. And I think Constance is, I mean, clearly out of her mind. Their relationship is so weird. Her
Yeah, and
relationship
she's
with Addie, it's very toxic and weird.
oh yeah, her relationship with everyone. And she's
Mhm.
clearly going through these men as well because Addie says something about like him smelling better than the last one. And
Mhm.
then Constance tells her that she would kill or die for her, for Addie, but she will not
Mhm.
share the affections of a man with any woman. And we've seen what she does when that happens.
Yeah. Mhm.
So then she asks what Addie told him she wanted to dress up as. Addie shows her
Mhm.
a picture of a model from a magazine and says she wants to be a pretty girl, which breaks my heart.
Yeah, mine too. Mhm.
Constance says she can go as Snoopy again or not at all. I was like, hell no, not Snoopy.
Oh, it's so brutal. Imagine, like, remember when you were a kid and you got forced to like dress up as something you didn't want to?
Oh
Ugh.
my gosh. There's a picture of me as a kid as a bag of giant M&Ms. Like I think
Oh,
my mom's friend sewed this costume. It's just a big bag of M&Ms and M's and I'm just in it like but I don't think I hated it at the time. It's just funny to
yeah.
look back on. Like who
No,
thought
that's
of
so
that?
it's cute. I know. I was a plastic bag Ninja Turtle so and Catwoman so many times.
Hell yeah. But Snoopy, it's just very clear that because I forget how old Addie is. I think she's
Mhm.
definitely at least a teenager. Is she an adult?
I was going to ask you the exact same question. I was trying to figure out how old she was as well
Okay, I'm
because
getting the
I
vibe
think
she's
she's
like
an adult.
16.
Oh,
Okay.
maybe.
Well,
I'm not sure.
I think we're also seeing that she's very infantilized. So it's hard to
Yeah.
tell.
It's hard to tell. Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
So now we're going to cut to Ben answering the door to fucking Larry. All right.
Oh, also, Addie again tells, like, she kind of repeats that the dead can walk freely on Halloween. And
Yeah.
we understand that is an important part of the story. And I think she, what is it called when characters like tell you the plot?
Oh, I thought you were going to say foreshadowing. I don't know.
And before we cut, Addie does again repeat that the dead can walk freely on Halloween.
Yes, which is going to be very important for these next two episodes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So now we're going to cut to Ben answering the door to fucking Larry. He is, of course, not happy to see him. Larry is
He's
stalking.
Larry's so dramatic.
He
He
really
is
is.
so over the top.
He is funny, though, even though he's also terrifying.
Yeah, he's funny.
So Larry wants the $1,000 and he's threatening to call the cops if Ben doesn't give it to him. He has this
Mm-hmm.
little plastic pumpkin, like the ones you
Mm-hmm.
would trick or treat with in the 90s. Ben kicks it across the yard, and honestly, it looked so satisfying. I wanted
Yeah.
him to do it, and then he did it, and I was like, yes, that's the only thing I can say that I liked that Ben did in the last couple episodes, probably.
Yeah, they're basically arguing about that money, and Larry tells him that he's gonna call the inspector because he's pretty sure that Ben doesn't have a permit to build that gazebo in his backyard.
Yeah, like he's all up in their business. He knows all. It definitely seems like he knows everything going on. And we
Yeah.
don't quite know why yet, but other than him stalking him. But there's more to it, and we'll find out. So
Mm-hmm.
Ben has a meeting with Tate. And so Ben is explaining to him that he can't treat him anymore. And he's really grateful that he helped Violet, but he wants to know why the fuck he was at the house because he wasn't supposed to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And Tate says that he was trying to throw pebbles at Violet's window. She wasn't answering, and then he saw the door open, so he wandered in. I'm like,
And he does the way that Tate describes it too, he does a great job of making himself seem somewhat innocent here. Like
yeah,
he's like, I know it wasn't the right thing to do, but as if that's the worst thing he's done.
right.
And he kind of really leans into Ben's like savior complex here. He tells him like, you're the only person I trust, because Ben's saying I can't treat you, and Tate is
Hmm.
like, well, you're the only person I trust, you're the only person that can help me, please. And he's all like desperate, and you think that Ben is going to be like, hell no, but eventually Ben sort of breaks down and is like, yo, you know what, I'll meet you for coffee, but I'll treat you, but it's got to be off campus, like away from the house, somewhere
Right.
else. I'll meet you for coffee. And Tate is like jazzed. He's like, yes, okay, let's go. And I promise, no more weird shit.
Mm. They do such a great job throughout these episodes, too, not telegraphing why Tate is always in the house, I think, even
Oh
watching it
yeah,
back.
for sure, for sure. Agree.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So he tells him, yes, we're going to meet outside at like a coffee shop or something, but on a different day, not today.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to see a security guard who is Morris Chestnut. I was like,
Okay,
wait,
he's
Morris
a
Chestnut?
what? He's a smoke show. I was like,
Yes.
damn.
His name is Luke. He's a security guard in
Mhm.
season 1. But I was like, wait a minute, is that fucking Morris Chestnut? Yes, it is. And
Mhm.
he's explaining to Vivian their new security system, which was a great idea, Vivian. Vivian then walks into the dining room where Moira is carving a massive amount of pumpkins. Like she has
She
like
has so many.
she is
Oh,
single-handedly putting together like a commercial sized haunted house. And
yeah.
then it
It's
is
like, and
sweet.
it is sweet. And she's like, I enjoy arts and crafts. My
Me
like
too, Moira.
heart, my
Me too.
heart. I was like, oh, Moira, because she just has this sort of endearing quality, Moira, right? And
Yeah.
so Viv asks her, she's like, "Oh, did Macy drop or Marcy drop off all these pumpkins?" And Moira like pauses for a second, and then she's like, "Yes," which clearly she did
Yeah.
not drop off those pumpkins, right?
Yeah.
She goes on to ask Viv if she can have Halloween off because she wants to go see her mother. Viv's like, "No problem, girl. You can have it off. I'm going to take this pumpkin that you made, great pumpkin, outside." So she goes outside with the jack-o'-lantern, and we see the backs of Chad and Patrick standing on the property, just talking mad shit about how ugly the like roses are. And they're just like, this house looks like shit,
Yeah.
but it has potential, essentially.
Yeah. And then she asked them if they're Marcy's fluffers because of course Marcy had to mention that her fluffer was gay because she's like
Mhm.
the type of person that has to tell you like the ethnicity of every person in every story that she tells and you're like what did that have to do with the story?
Yeah, 100%. Yep.
So Vivian assumes they're the fluffers and they're like yeah, sure. And then now they're walking into the house.
Hmm.
So now Chad and Patrick are carving pumpkins with the Harmons, making digs at each other the whole time. How awkward. Have
It's
you ever been in a situation where like a couple is bickering in front of you and you're just like, okay.
yes. You're like, I am so glad this is not my relationship.
And you're also just like, I don't know what to say or do here. Should I leave? Should I say something? Should I just sit
Can
here
we
smiling
just
awkwardly? I don't know.
can we hold it together and not do this in front of me? Thank you. Yeah, they're
Right.
they're they're like just poking at each other. And I mean, I think it's a great scene. Just having all of them together in the same room, I think is pretty cool. But they start
Yeah.
bickering a little bit. Chad switches gears, and you think that he's going to go in a different direction, but he circles back and just negs Patrick some more, right? But
Yeah.
Viv changes the subject, and she basically is like, "So, like, how long have you guys been fluffers?" Like, she kind of like asks them about it, like, "Oh, it's so cool that you guys do this for a living." And Chad and Chad kind of like looks at her, and he's just like, "Well, you're hilarious, Viv." Right? Like, it's
Yeah.
clear that they're not the fluffers, but poor Viv has no idea, and she's
Right.
completely like confused by this.
Uh-huh.
And there
And then
there's a
she asked
great
for suggestions. Oh, go
yes.
ahead.
So I paused the show while I was taking notes, and I perfectly paused it on a shot of Chad saying, "Oh, you're hilarious," blah 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 to Viv. Viv turning and looking at him confused. Patrick looking at him like, "Please shut the fuck up." And Ben looking at him like, "You are so sus." It was just the perfect still image of the three of them, and I thought that they conveyed that just through eye contact so well.
I love that subtlety.
Mhm.
So now Vivian asks for suggestions of what they should do for the decor, and they immediately say the gazebo has to go.
Oh, Chad
Meanwhile,
does. Chad
yeah.
does. And he does it in a way that he looks right at Ben when he says it.
Oh, I didn't even pick that up that he was looking at Ben because
Oh
Ben, of
yeah.
course they know, of course they know, and Ben starts sweating.
Mhm.
Obviously, he accidentally
Well,
cuts himself.
yeah, because Chad is straight up like, "Oh, did you install that yourself?"
Yeah, and he's like, "Huh." Well, he knows what's underneath the gazebo. Ben does,
Mhm.
and he doesn't. He probably doesn't think that Chad and Patrick know, but we know that they know.
Yeah, if anything, it's just triggering him. And I think
Yes.
Chad's just messing with him straight
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So Patrick offers to help him with the first aid kit, which is upstairs in the bathroom. Okay. The cut to the bathroom is so fast. I was like, wait, like I needed to pause to take my notes. And seemingly even faster, Patrick puts his hand on Ben's crotch,
Mm-hmm.
like over his pants. And Ben is like, whoa, what are you doing? And Patrick says, come on, Ben, I can tell we're the same. He
Mm-hmm.
offers to, and I quote, well, I guess it's not a quote, but he's soft. I'm like, wait, he didn't actually say this. He offers, and I quote my notes, to suck him off.
Why did you say
Because that's what he says. That's why I was saying quote, and I'm like, wait, never mind.
it? And I quote.
In 4 minutes, yeah, I'm just quoting my notes, not him, but he did use those words. In 4 minutes, no one will know.
Hmm.
My jaw was on the floor. Ben
Mm-hmm.
says he's not gay. Patrick says neither was I until I got head from a guy. Wow. I'm sorry, I'm reading all this dialogue like, yes, I was loving it in my notes. Ben walks out.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick says, don't tell Chad we're not doing well. No shit. I
No,
wonder
no
why you're
shit,
not
bro.
doing well.
Yeah, no shit. It is like us. It looks. I don't know. It just looks sad from Patrick's perspective. Like he
Yeah.
just looks so dejected.
It almost
And
reminded me of someone who, not that I'm trying to diagnose this fictional character, but it almost reminded me of someone who has like a sex addiction.
yeah,
To be like,
absolutely.
don't tell him we're not, I don't know. Like it
Mm-hmm.
all happens so fast and almost like impulsively, right?
And just like someone who is like very in a bad place. That's what it came
Yes.
across to me. Like it just came across very like maybe not something you would normally do, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Downstairs, Chad tells Vivian that Ben seems nervous and then starts telling her how he caught Patrick cheating through cell phone records. He's like, you
Oh,
can delete a text, but you can't erase the bill.
okay. So can I just touch on two things?
Please.
Okay, one, Chad obviously has an agenda here, right? So he starts planting these seeds in Vivian's head. Like, I don't know, I just get like a weird vibe from Ben. There's like some kind of
Mhm.
darkness, right? Like he's a little bit nervous, just something that I feel. And he goes on to say that he caught Patrick cheating. And yes, the way he did was through phone records. But he kind of says it. And then, like, I loved the exchange because Viv immediately, as soon as he says that he figured it out, she zooms in and is like, how? What did you do exactly? And he explains how to do it. And she's just all in with it. And the scene ends with like Chad giving her all this advice and then being like, Viv, give me your decoration. It looks like shit. And he like starts working on it. And the whole exchange was great. It was like Chad was like, okay, I've said what I need to say. Now I can go back to my true personality. Give me that piece of shit that you're working on.
Right.
And the other thing I wanted to say was this information that Chad gave her is exactly how I found out that my ex-boyfriend was cheating on me. One of my ex-boyfriends was cheating on me.
Oh, shit.
Yes, I saw him talk about this, and that's exactly what I did. I checked my phone records, and lo and behold, big fat cheater. So thank you,
Wait, were you
Chad.
say after you saw this episode,
Mhm,
like when it
mhm.
aired, you went and checked?
I rewatched the episode. Like this was maybe I think I want to say maybe a year or so later. I rewatched the episode while I was with this person, and yeah.
So
Hmm.
this episode, you can't be the only one. So this episode probably helped a lot of people find out,
Hmm.
oh my
Hmm.
gosh, that's
Hmm.
wild.
Dreadful thing to do, to have to check your phone records. It's
Yeah.
just an awful thing to it's awful, right? It's an awful thing to find. It's an awful thing to have to do, but
Does it
I
give you a
felt for her.
transcript or is it just like telling you the numbers that they were texting?
At the time, I mean, this was around this time when this came out.
Like
But
2011?
somewhere in that kind of region. I don't remember exactly, but it would show you the numbers the person called, the numbers that they received the calls, and then the text that you didn't see the text, but you could see the exchanges between the numbers.
Okay.
And when you see a number that is on there about 1,000 times, you start to piece it together.
Yeah. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
not fun. Hmm.
I was going to say not a fun fact, but very interesting.
Yes.
So now we're going to cut to Violet in her room. Addie is under her bed. It scares the shit out of her.
Hmm.
And she asks Violet to make her a pretty girl. Every time she says it, I'm just like, oh, my heart.
I know. And Violet does tell her, like, I ain't so good at this. And my golly, why did she choose like the reddest of rouge and the bluest eyeshadow she owned?
I don't
Like,
think Violet really wears makeup. It doesn't seem like it anyway.
but blue eyeshadow? I mean, I think
Yeah.
we all know that that is not usually very flattering. I mean,
But
Addie
this was
looks
also
adorable.
this was 2011, and I feel like, remember, I mean, makeup in 2016 was so different. So 2011, we're so close to like the 2000s party era of like the
Mm.
worst eyebrows, the worst foundation doesn't match your neck. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. No, totally, totally. It just like to me it looked like makeup that someone would do if like they didn't know what makeup was and they were
Yeah,
just like, I've seen this kind of before. Like
right.
that's what it looks like. She
To
and
where you're like,
Addie
yeah,
is just so she's so cute and she just loves it. And her reaction to it just it's just makes my heart swell.
yeah. And I love that she just does her makeup too. It's like, she doesn't even figure out how Addie got under her bed. They just accept it at this
Yeah.
point that she keeps breaking in their house.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think they just gave up at asking her that at that point. So Addie
Well,
asks,
well, Violet
go
does
ahead.
say, like, yo, you can't keep breaking into the house. And
Right,
Addie is like,
right.
well, all my friends are here.
And she's like, what?
I know. She's like, all my friends are in here. It's like, okay.
Interesting. So Addie asks Violet if Tate's her boyfriend and
Mhm.
says that Tate likes her. And Violet's like, what? She asks Violet if she's a virgin, to which she replies, yes, aren't you? And Addie says, hell no.
Hell
I'm
no.
like,
Which
Addie.
which makes me wonder how old Addie actually is. That's where I started questioning her age.
Yeah. She could be like 18. I'm not sure. I don't remember if it's in my notes somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I love that she never elaborates either. I would have follow up questions like, wait, what do you mean? Tell me
Mm-hmm.
all about it.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're going to cut to Constance chasing Addie around the kitchen because she wants her to take that makeup off. Of course,
Oh,
she like
she's like
Constance.
berating her and like it's awful, man. She says a lot of really terrible shit to Addie here.
Horrible, horrible things. Addie keeps telling her, I want to be a pretty girl. Constance tells her, you're not a pretty girl. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
She's very,
Even
very
though
selfish. She's very
Constance has
selfish.
some bomb ass one liners sometimes, but she's a fucked up individual.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, she's extremely selfish.
Yeah.
She continues saying very cruel things to Addie and tells her that when people see them walking down the street, they feel lucky that I'm assuming like that they don't
It's
look like Addie. Constant
yeah.
also says that they look at her like she's some kind of a hero as if she had a choice in the matter. It's all just very, very
Yeah.
awful.
Horrible. Then we're going to
Hmm.
cut back to Violet downstairs in the basement calling for Tate. Apparently, he wanted to meet at midnight. The rubber man is there. He
Hmm.
grabs her, he grabs Violet, she screams, then he starts laughing. It's fucking Tate in the costume.
Yeah.
And she's like, where did you get that? Because my dad threw it out. Because remember, I think it was like the first episode, we saw that costume hanging in the attic, very
Hmm.
creepily, like set up.
Hmm.
And so now, as a viewer, you're like, okay, why do I keep seeing the rubber man? Why does Tate have this costume? What is going on?
Hmm.
Tate asks if he scared her. She says no. And he tells her, well, I can scare you. He pulls
Hmm.
out a Ouija board, which you already know. I'd be like, well, that's enough for me. Bye. See ya. And he tries to convince her to play with him.
Hmm.
He says Charles will answer all their questions. So we learned about Charles the last episode, the doctor who built the house in the 1920s. He was doing his little Frankenstein experiments down in the basement.
Hmm.
And so Tate starts telling Violet all about it. So now we're seeing more to this story that we did not see in the last episode. So Charles was a doctor to the stars and a drug addict. We kind of put that part together. He was giving back alley abortions essentially, but one girl couldn't keep the secret and her boyfriend wanted revenge. So one night he calls the house and he tells him, all he says is an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. And this is Nora that answers. She's confused at first, but then she runs upstairs to find that this man had kidnapped their baby and went out the window.
Yes. And this is loosely based on the Lindbergh kidnapping. And then, for those who don't know, Charles Lindbergh was abducted from his home and murdered. He was 20 months old, I believe, and this was on March 1st, 1932. He was the son of one of the most famous people in the world at the time, Colonel Charles Lindbergh. He was the first pilot to ever fly from the US to Europe. So he was a pretty big deal. Him and his wife was a badass too. She traveled the world with him, but they decided that they wanted to get away from the spotlight and raise their kid in a small kind of secluded area, and they moved to New Jersey thinking this would be a nice, like, quiet life. They were at home one night. I believe that they had staff in the house as well and a dog when a man climbed into the window of this little boy Charles and kidnapped him. And it went unsolved for about 2 years. But there was a lot of pressure from the public because this was such a highly publicized case that they put so much pressure on law enforcement that the FBI got involved. And eventually they did find the kidnapper. He was a German guy. I'm not going to say his name because he's a piece of shit. But essentially what they think happened was he kidnapped the Charles. He went down his makeshift ladder. He was a carpenter. Okay. So he made this ladder, which is one of the ways that they found him. But they think that he dropped Charles in the process of coming down the ladder. And I don't know that he intended on killing him, but that they think that's what happened. And then this man started sending ransom notes, and long story long, if you guys want to look into it, it is it's a horrifying case, but the way that the FBI ends up finding him is pretty interesting. They use a lot of handwriting experts and things like this, but it went unsolved for about 2 years. And it's all just very tragic.
Yeah, I think they believed that he maybe accidentally killed him going down the ladder because he was then sending ransom notes implying that he was alive and going to give him back alive. So they think maybe either way, if you want to look more into it, definitely go check out episodes. I just actually listened to an episode that the Morbid Podcast did. They did a fantastic episode on the Lindbergh baby. So go check that out if you want more details. But horribly, horribly tragic. And here in this episode, they're also waiting for a ransom letter or call that never comes in this case. And then one day there's a knock at the door and Charles and Nora answer. The police are there. They have an evidence box and they just open it at the door, which I know this is the 1920s here in this episode. Insane to me that you would, because it's implied, they don't show it, but it's implied their baby is in this box.
It looked like jars in the box.
Because it was in pieces. Okay. And I'm like, that they showed this to the family is insane. And at their doorstep, what? Obviously, Nora is unwell. Mm-hmm. And, oh no, I'm sorry. Charles is the one who sees it. They won't let Nora see. That makes more sense, honestly. Mm-hmm. But then we see Nora coming into the basement with a blanket that she says she wants to bury the baby in. And she comes in to find that Charles is trying to sew the baby back together, but with random parts. He's putting like the hoof on a baby leg. Nora obviously has a fucking meltdown. So Tate is telling Violet this story and that this abomination has remained in the basement to this day. Mm-hmm. And Violet's like, oh my gosh, you're so full of shit. She doesn't believe him.
Mm-hmm. Yes. No, she doesn't believe him. In fact, she's kind of over hanging out in the basement and wants to go on a real date with Tate. And he is like, you know what? Yes, we're going to go out tomorrow night. I'm going to take you on a date.
So now we're going to cut to Ben on Halloween Day. It is the day of Halloween, as implied by me just saying Halloween Day. And he's meeting Tate out at a coffee shop. Mm-hmm. Ben's smoking a cigarette, crying about Violet, how he used to be a troubled kid. I'm like, isn't this supposed to be Tate's session? Like, what are you doing?
Oh, he just trauma dumps on Tate immediately. And there was like one part where he is looking at a little girl dressed as a witch. And Tate's like, I bet you that reminds you of Violet when she was little. Tate just does a really good job of manipulating Ben.
Yeah, he is a great manipulator. Mm-hmm. So here we're going to cut to Constance barging in on Addie, asking why she isn't in her costume, her Snoopy costume. And Addie says she's too old to trick or treat now. She doesn't want to go.
And also Constance comes in with a completely different attitude, different tone, different energy. She almost comes in with an apology. Like, why aren't you trick-or-treating? Like, you should
without actually apologizing.
Exactly.
She could never.
Because she could never. Exactly. But she basically tells Addie, like, she should trick-or-treat. And look, you get to be a pretty girl, and gives her a rubber mask of a girl. It's just a really weird, they have such a strange relationship, but she's such a strange mother. Like, I don't get her at all. And as she's like telling Addie, like, it's supposed to be this sincere, sweet moment. And Addie kind of perks up over it. And Constance is like, let's pick out an outfit from my closet. Maybe one of my old maternity dresses will fit you.
Even when she's trying to have a touching moment, she still has to say something fucked up.
Yes, I'm
Honestly,
going, girl.
it reminds me so much of like older women of that generation because one of my
Mhm,
grandmas was like that. I'm not even playing. Not as bad as Constance, but she
mhm.
always had something backhanded to say.
Always, I
We were
know, I
like, okay,
know. No, my grandma too would say some shit, and I'd be like, Grams, what the really?
yeah,
Like, my
yeah.
god."
And this rubber mask is creepy. Like it's a little uncanny. It's like a full glam, pretty girl mask, I guess. So I don't know
Mhm.
why Constance just couldn't put makeup on her, but whatever.
That's what I'm saying, like, there's something weird with Constance and other women, and even with
Yeah.
Addie being her daughter, she's still
Yes.
very weird
That's very
about it.
true.
Mhm.
So now we're going to cut back to Ben and Viv, and Ben is a vampire. And Vivian goes, "How's Hayden?" Oh shit, it's about to hit the fan. And she said, "I told you if you lie to me one more time, we're done." And then she tells him she read through the phone bills. So she did what is his name? Chad. Did
Chad,
what Chad
mhm.
said. I was about to call him Chuck. Looked through the phone bills. Hayden's number is on there 20 times. And he says, "No, no, no. She kept calling, but I don't answer. And when I did, I told her if she kept calling, I'd call the police." And then he's like, "Look, she's not going to call back. It's fine." And
Mhm.
Vivian says, "She might because I left her a message."
Dude,
Oh, shit.
dude, can I also say Ben like mansplains to her that what she did was actually a good thing, but he promises one, he never went to Boston to see her, and two, Hayden's probably not going to message her back because we know she's dead. However, as this happens, Viv's phone rings and it is Hayden, but she doesn't answer it. She tosses it onto the bed and says, "I'll call her back later." And Ben is like, obviously horrified by this because he knows the body is under that gazebo, man.
So now we see that Chad has set up the whole haunted house and he starts going off about Vivian's Rite Aid witch costume and Ben's too. I was like, Rite Aid. Do you remember when Rite Aid was a thing?
Yes,
If you
well,
don't know, I think they're gone now.
they are,
It's a
yeah, they just
Walgreens,
closed.
essentially,
Yeah, yeah, it's like a more expensive Walgreens. He calls Ben Count Chocula.
which my favorite seasonal cereal, by the way.
Oh, okay. I'm
But yeah,
not
he's
into
very
like
particular.
not into chocolate flavored things, but yeah, he's very I would say over the top with how he wants this, like neurotic about how he
Oh,
wants the
I was
decoration.
just going to say, Chad is absolutely neurotic about the details of this haunted house. He notices the bobbing station. I did write station too. And there are gala apples in the fucking water. And he
Oh,
specifically wanted Granny Smith's.
dude, he like goes on a rant about how he's the only person putting any effort into any of the decor and things like this. And I thought it was so funny because he reminds me, I'm not going to say he reminds me of me, but I get like I'm like such a perfectionist. And if things don't go the way that I envision them, I tend to like kind of lose my shit. But it only happens like that when I'm under extreme stress. It's like the worst side of me.
Yeah.
And that's the vibe I get from Chad. Like, in his mind, he's
Oh,
doing
like, yeah.
everything he's supposed to be doing and he's working so hard at it and he feels like he's up against everyone else's bullshit even though he's acting completely off the rails and making it awful for everyone else in the room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just thought it
Yeah.
was really
On
funny the
one
way that he
hand,
handled it.
oh yeah. There's one hand where I'm like, all right, relax. Like it doesn't matter what color the apples are. He does go to explain it. I think there was a reason he wanted the Granny Smiths, like green ones instead of red or whatever.
Yeah.
But I do understand because if I was doing something like a cosplay, for example, and something was the wrong color, that would send me. I'm like, no, 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 it has to be exact.
It's that perfectionism where
Yeah, yeah.
you like kind of zoom into one thing that really at the end of the day doesn't matter, but
Right.
because you are just so in the zone, you're like, no, it does matter. If they are not the green apples, this is going to be a disaster. And it's like, is it?
Chad is a
I don't think
creative. What
so.
are you gonna do? He's an artist.
He's an artist, right? So he's like going on this huge rant, right? And then at the end of it, he tells Viv and Ben that they should just leave. And obviously, the Harmons are very confused by this. They're like, why would we leave our own house? And Chad's like, this isn't your house. The house knows it. You know it. Ugh.
He
And
tells them, "You don't
Patrick,
deserve this house."
dude, Patrick looks like he's on Chad's side now. Okay.
Mhm.
Like he kind of is like, yeah, this is our house. Viv full on crashes out, man. Like
As she
it is
should.
100% is like crash out of the century. And I totally 100% get it, girl. I get it.
Yeah, she makes them leave, and as they're leaving, they see Rubber Man in a window.
Mm-hmm.
And then she tells Ben she wants him to leave too. Ben, not Rubber Man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But suddenly she gets a sharp pain in her stomach and starts screaming. So now
Mm-hmm.
Ben is going to take her to the hospital and tells Violet, don't answer the door
Mm-hmm.
on Halloween, which is a little tricky.
Mm-hmm.
So we cut to a little bit later, and Violet is reading in her bed, listening to her iPod. Remember iPod days?
Mm-hmm.
Addie is ringing the doorbell in her pretty girl costume, and this
Mm-hmm.
group of shitty mean girls come up to her and say, "It says take one, can't you see?" Because Violet just put, well, probably the parents just put a bowl of candy on the porch that says take one.
Mm-hmm.
Addie says she's a pretty girl and she wants Violet to see, and the girls just say horrible things to her and laugh
Mm-hmm.
and leave.
Oh, it's so sad. She like Addie like chases after them and she's just like, oh, it's so sad. She's like, wait, wait up for me.
And like, bitch, you're dressed as a pirate. Like the main mean girl is
Yeah.
dressed as a fucking pirate. Relax, okay? But yeah,
Mhm.
Addie's chasing after them. She runs for them, crossing the street. Now, this mask definitely has no peripheral vision.
Yeah.
And Addie gets fucking smoked by a car.
Dude, it was like Pet Cemetery level of unexpected. I was like, oh, when
Yes.
she got hit. I was like, holy
Yes.
shit.
And the car just seems to keep driving,
Yeah,
which
it
is
just
even
hits
worse.
her. And like her body is laying in the road. Very it follows. Like her leg is bent. She just looks, well, she
Yeah.
looks like she just got smoked.
Yeah. So in the hospital, we were cutting back to Vivian now. She's telling the doctor that she hasn't felt any kicking since they left the house. And the doctor's like, well, you're only 8 weeks. There probably won't be much of that. But then looking at the screen, she's like, are you sure you're 8 weeks? Because this baby looks a lot bigger. And then the doctor looks closer at the screen, which we, of course, cannot see. And she fucking faints. Like, I don't even
Dude.
know how I would react. I would be fainting. So we don't know why yet. But back
Mhm.
with Addie now, Constance is putting on a show in the streets, which of course
Okay.
she's going to be sad. But like after all the horrible things you did,
I
now you want to
okay.
cry.
I I actually I actually felt so horrified
She's so
for
believable.
Constance here because it really is this like it just feels like you're peeking into what grief and immediate shock looks like. She's wailing, she's screaming. The EMTs are trying to help Addie, but Constance is like, is she dying? And the EMT's like, we're doing everything we can. So Constance starts dragging Addie's body to the grass to Murder House because this is going to then turn her into a ghost and keep her living forever, right? So the EMTs don't know this, but they do such a great job of like people looking at her and watching her and her like pulling Addie with this despair and wailing. And it's just heartbreaking, man. It's so, so
It
sad.
is. And obviously, Constance is a very complex character. Of course, she's going to be mourning her daughter, even if
Mhm.
she's a piece of shit, even if Constance is a
Yeah,
piece of shit, right?
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, she's trying to get her on the property of Murder House. I was actually surprised the EMTs weren't trying harder to stop her, but she's too late.
Well,
And
I think
Addie
Addie's
dies.
already dead. I think they knew that Addie was dead, you know? I think so.
Maybe, but as she's dragging her, Addie dies before she could get her on the property. And
Yeah.
that to her is an even worse fate. Jessica Lange is so fucking good. So now
Mhm.
we're going to cut to Moira, who is visiting her mother in the nursing home. Her
Oh
mother's on a
god.
ventilator. This is awful too.
Oh, it's so sad.
So Moira is basically telling her mother this is her fault. What have they done to you? It takes a lot longer than this, but she eventually just gets up and disconnects the ventilator, which is
Mhm.
very jarring to watch. And then her mother flatlines. And I'm
Mhm.
guessing she just didn't want her mother to live like that.
Well, she even says like I'm so sorry, I failed you. I wasn't here for you. So I'm assuming that her mother didn't have like a healthcare proxy or anything like that and is being forced to stay alive as, you know, she really can't do anything. She can't breathe on her own. She's not even conscious, and
Yeah.
she's just being kept alive. And I feel like Moira wanted to save her from that,
And
you
end her
know?
suffering. Yeah.
Yeah.
So as she does this, she flatlines. Her mother appears behind her and says, "Come with me." Oh my gosh. Like Moira also she is so fantastic. Every time Moira weeps, I feel like I start to get choked up a little bit. And especially here, this scene is so heartbreaking. Just like when she was crying in the window with
Mhm.
Constance in one of the last
It's
episodes.
it's just
So
sad. It's so,
yeah,
so sad.
her mother appearing behind her says, "Come with me."
Mhm.
And Moira just starts weeping and says, "I want to, but I can't, mother." Oh my gosh, she's so good.
Mhm.
So after this scene, after this heartbreaking scene, we're back at Murder House and Larry, fucking Larry, is banging on the door again, demanding his $1,000. But Ben and Viv are at the hospital still. So Violet is calling her dad and he just
Mhm.
says, "Keep the door locked. We're on our way home."
Dude, she straight up says, "Do I call the police?" And Ben, being the absolute piece of shit that he is like, "No, don't call the police. We'll be home soon."
I don't understand that logic. Yeah, I don't understand that logic because
Yeah, because he doesn't want to get the police involved because there's a dead body in his backyard and Larry helped him bury it. He doesn't want to get the cops anywhere close to his house, and he's
that's
willing
true.
to put
That's
his
true.
daughter's life at risk for it because Larry
That,
is clearly unwell. Like,
yeah.
hello, he's like banging on the door, he's ringing the doorbell, and then he realizes that Ben is not home and he says, "Ooh, who's that? Your daughter?"
Yeah. Now behind Violet, we see Rubberman. Now we see Ben get home. As he's walking in, a couple of the skeletons outside are positioned like they're fucking. I noticed. Like people were
Mhm.
just fucking with their decorations, which I thought was funny. But Ben and Vivian get home. They can't find Violet. They
No,
search
because
all around.
the alarm's on, going off in
Yeah.
the house, the front door is open.
Yes. They search all around. Then there's a knock at the door. Ben answers the door. Who is it? It's fucking Hayden.
She is looking rough.
And Ben just shuts the door in her face, and that is the end of episode 4. But what
him
a cliffhanger!
him shutting the door on her though, it's just like it reminded me of in the movie Clue. There's a scene where a singing telegram gal gets taken out and they open the door and they all look at her and then they're just like and then they just shut the door. Like it's
Yeah.
just like I can't even deal with this right now.
I mean, that's exactly what I would have done. Like you were dead and buried under concrete. No, no, no. This isn't possible. I'm not
Mhm.
dealing with this shit. I'd slam the door too.
She looks
But what a
rough. Like
fucking cliffhanger to leave that on.
great cliffhanger.
Well,
I think
yeah.
part 2, I mean, part 1's amazing, but part 2, I think it really stands out from the Halloween episodes,
Yeah, for sure.
which we'll get to next time. We hope you liked this episode. You can follow us on social media at Chainsaw Girls Pod. We're on Instagram and TikTok. You can email us, chainsawgirlspod@gmail.com. We also have a Patreon, and we shout out our top tier patrons. Here we go.
Yes, we have Jeremy M, John M, David G, another John M, Jonathan W, Rob V, David T, Heather D, Franchise Driller, Millie C, Chris S, Alexis T, Adam VL, and James C. We love you so much. Thank you for being here. Okay,
Okay,
bye.
bye.